don't have full clip, I don't really think that they can take down etong si Kel VJ at this point. Level 15, greed dito, they're trying to take down Aqua.
Napakahirap. Eson. There you go, another mountain tracker. Mukhang mapapalaban nata ulit dito ang side ng Blacklist International. Raplesha coming in with the 3 strikes. Huli ngayon ang ultimate si paring Eson. Oh, nalak pa siya. Nahuli yung Octopus.
Nahuli Octopus.
Doon sa ano, yun yung overturn. Kahit
Nahuli.
mag-perfect match ka.
Kahit mag-perfect match ka, ito pa men. Meron pang isa. Kapag na-reverse time mo,
Yung Octopus.
yung ano, si Eson o yung Atlas na naka-perfect match,
Babalik yung Octopus.
naka-ejected,
Oo.
babalik si Octopus doon sa posisyon nung armor.
Oo. Yung Octopus yun talaga si Atlas, di ba?
Oo.
Yung armor lang.
Armor lang yun.
Oo.
Parang ano yan, scuba gear.
Scuba gear, oh. Para siyang si Krang
Oo.
ng Ninja Turtles.
Oo, tama.
Ayos ba yun?
Oo.
Kunento lang ng tito ko yun eh.
Paramdam ko, Manjin, halata yung edad eh, si Krang.
Kunento lang ng tito ko yun, man. Noong panahon na yun.
And okay, si Eson dito nakakuha na siya ng kiras.
Oo.
Kel VJ and the others, they're doing their best. Habang si JP dito, bayad na bayad, trabaho lang, walang personalan.
Oo.
Eson will get information na naglo-lord sila ngayon. Will there be a contest? That is the question. Reset muna ni JP dito. He knows na hindi maganda pwesto niya dito. And roughly siya, Eson pumasok na naman. Tingnan natin kung may enough damage ba. May kiras yan, pero mapapagamit ng flicker.
Parang kaya pa makambak.
Nako, si Eson dito, nadelikado yung pwesto.
Ang bilis ng Octopus eh. Binigar pusit. Ay!
Flame shot!
Flame shot!
Hindi namin
Okay.
Okay. Flame
shot!
Heavy machine.
Heavy machine gun. Enemy chaser! Na-enemy chaser eh. Oo eh. Ay, naku. Ay, naku.
And they don't have their initiation. Meron silang pampigil, pero wala silang pang-steer.
Tinan mo yung ginagawa ni JP, single, double. The ultimate dance move.
Oo.
Kapag on getting the Lord. Blacklist International trying their best to negate that Lord take. Nakuhaan pa sila ng purple dito. Mahihirapan na naman silang dumipensa. Kinulang lang ng damage si Kiluwas kanina, pero mukhang eto na ata ang huling halakhak, Butters.
Ang huling sayaw.
Ang huling sayaw.
The Defense of the Last Samurai, ika nga nila.
Tanda mo na, Butters, ha? The Defense of the Last Samurai, ha?
Oy, mga
Kunento ng tito mo yan, oh.
Oo naman.
Oh. Binabati ko ang mga tito natin, si Jerry Ocampo, tsaka si Alvin Beltran.
Beltran. Ayan. Diyan na ba?
Diyan na ba?
Ayan. Shoutout sa inyo.
17-14. Aura PH, hinihintay na lang nila.
Tsaka
Ang Lord.
ano, lahat ng anak ni Jerry.
Si
Shoutout sa
Jerry,
inyo.
Joshua Ocampo.
Sila
Eto
Jerry.
na. Men, Depensang Marino para sa Blanc. Si Kiluwas!
Mountain.
Thunder Alexander! Wala siya!
Hunter. O Hunter x Hunter. Kahit anong gusto nyo sabihin doon, pwede naman. Pero Aura PH, they still got the victory.
At si Renjo, mga kaibigan.
Si Rencho, mga kaibigan.
50 claps per game.
50 claps per game.
Shoutout kay Kuya Renjo.
Siyempre kapag nananalo na, easy money.
Tropa natin yan si Kuya Renjo.
Rencho yan. Si Kuya Rencho.
Man, that was actually hard for Aura PH. I think, wala na eh. Naubusan na sila ng damage output doon sa Harit. Ang ganda na sana eh. Ang problema, hindi sila makaset up.
Yeah.
Again, pag wala kang set up, saan eh? Yung cooldown sa ultimate sila, ang tataas. Nag-struggle yung Blacklist International on landing specific skills. Lalo-lalo na si Eson. No? Lalo-lalo na si Eson Esports. Eson is known to be one of the players na ang taas ng catch potential. Diba? Yung mga hook niya, mga kupra niya. Pero this time, easy cancel.
You have to attribute it to greed din. Kung paano niya nilalaro yung kanyang si Kagura dito. Like the flame shot is actually the best thing na pinili dito ni Greed for this certain game. At kung sino man yung sumubok lumapit, it really just stopped them from initiating. This is one of the, this is one of the things na medyo tagilid kay Diggy. Na usually nakikita mo kasi yung other supports parang pumapana like si Lina. Yung Valir, tinutulak niya pabalik. For Diggy kasi, after the time's journey, kung wala naman talagang total big team fight ulti, parang hindi mo din fully utilize yung time's journey. And that's the thing about Digi right now. Hindi talaga, pwede siyang malaruan, pwede siyang i-bypass.
Yeah, pwede mong daanan na lang.
Pwede mo daanan na lang.
Pwede mong daanan na lang. Men, grabe. 2-1 pa din ang score ng Aura PH. Ating pong tignan kung ano bang analysis ng kaibigan nating si Wolf.
Thank you so much, casters. This is game number 3's performance. Wala naman sa Aura PH. And again, they did what they are good at. Really outplaying, outsmarting their opponents in many facets of the game. I think the draft is pretty even. Both teams have their own win conditions against each other. One thing that I want you to understand is that Kiluash already had the history of dealing with Harith before. And I believe kung babalik tayo sa isang tournament outside of MPL, I can fairly remember this a few months back. Ginawa niya yung ganitong klaseng performance laban sa isang Harith. At not only that, sa same game or sa same series na ginawa niya yung pag-outplay sa Harith, he also made a play that is reminiscent of that split push. At mamaya pag-usapan natin yung split push wala sa Aura PH. One thing na gusto ko lang sabihin is, ang ganda actually nung slot, nung pag-pick dito sa Digi. I like how Blacklist is forcing Aura PH to draft heroes na medyo awkward for them. However, in this specific game number 3, it seems like na-outdraft. Hindi naman sa outdraft. Naka-recover sa draft ang Aura PH. Na-even up nila. I very, very much like the last pick, Kagura mula sa Aura PH. Nauubusan na rin kasi ng mga mage supports na available for Aura PH. Now they opted to go for Higit. By the way, I like the itemization. Kami na from Kiluash, sobrang man with the mission itong si Kiluash. He went for the 5-minute BOD na in-stress ng ating mga casters. But what I really like to emphasize is yung kanyang pick-up kanina dun sa Deadblade. Also, na pinalitan niya yun, kumuha siya ng Malefic Roar. So, nagkakaroon tayo ng switch-ups, right? It's just important. Ang ganda na kumukuha sila dito ng mga specific items para sa specific na roles, which is, again, Malefic Roar against turrets. Now, let's look at the building damage, obviously, from the post-game stats of this specific game. And I think na napakalaking importance when you look at Kiluash. Literally, the big part, I'm not entirely sure kung ilang percent, but this is 30K out of just the 5K at most ni JP. And I think that's very important. Kasi Aura PH, the way they utilize their players is meron silang laging kanya-kanyang mga tasks. Now, I want to say that Blacklist played this well. I think Edward on the Thumbs is phenomenal. Aqua on this Esmeralda, ang ganda rin ng kanyang pinakita. Then again, etong si Dexstar as well as Eson, they were so good with this. And I'm not sure if the side of Blacklist International really thought this through, pero ang ganda no kanilang lineup with the last pick, Harith. It makes a lot of sense to me. Hindi siya ganun ka napipigilan. There's not much lockdown inside of Aura PH. However, in the grand scheme of things, dun na sila natalo. And you know what, Blacklist, honestly, ganda no kanilang performance overall dito sa ating series. And I like that they are using whatever the time they had. I think that sobrang prepared sila sa Aura. And I think that people who watch the Blacklist as well as Aura PH, alam nila na if you're an avid fan of both these teams, you feel na talagang prepared yung Blacklist laban sa Aura PH. Anyways, I believe that we're gonna be looking at the highlights now for this game. I think specifically, gusto kong i-take note yung mga pwestuhan ng pares na teams. Particularly dito sa Aura PH. Now, this is 1 minute 30 mark. We know that at 1 minute 30, a funneled hero, kapag merong funnel strategy, almost always level 4 na siya at 1 minute 30. And that's one thing that we can see now. The communication for Aura PH is, sabi nila dito, sabi ni Grid, oy pre, meron ka ng ulti for sure, gamitin mo na at the right moment. And indeed they will. So they will not get the orange buff, but they will get the for their funneled hero. And I think very important. Now, overall, Blacklist International will get a little bit of control of this game. In fact, the early game teamfights will favor them. This is mainly because of the fact that they are composed mainly of mages. And we know that a mage setup, like in game number 1 of the series, will almost always win the early stages of the game. Dahil nga, maganda nga naman talaga ang damage output ng mage-based lineups. Now, I think LVJ, this is one of my favorite plays, by the way. This game na to kay LVJ. I want to see him pop off. So sa previous games, meron siyang X-Borg Thumbs. Alam natin na kaya niyang laruin yun, but I would really prefer KLVJ sa mga roles na pwede siyang magbuhat. At least no kanyang lane at no kanyang hero. And this is one game that he popped off. What a very nice timing on the Purify to eventually escape. At tapos ang ganda niya kanyang communication with Kiluwash. And eventually, maa-outplay din ng Aura-PH to Kiluwash with that flame shot and that fade-away flicker. And this is one of my favorite din na clashes coming out from Aura-PH. And they forced out Eson to use the ultimate. At kung mapapansin ninyo, nasa outer circle nung ating laban ang mga members ng Aura-PH. Raflesha came from here. KLVJ from here. Umikot siya dyan. Kiluwash looking for the right timing. I think that's also very important. Greed in here. At kung mapapansin nyo, no matter what happens, dahil sa distansya nung mga members dito, that concave that they did against the convex, di ba? Parang ang ganda dahil hindi ka talaga makakahanap ng perfect na initiation if you're playing the Atlas. It's really impossible at this moment, and eventually the side of Blacklist International will lose this fight. Medyo may even nila kasi napatay nila yung Yi Sun Chin, but they have lost the bigger battle here. Napatay nila yung core hero, but eventually they will lose a big part of the map because of this play. Now, Aura-PH, hindi lang nila sa isang specific clash gagawin to, at eventually nakita nyo naman yung split push na ginagawa ng Aura-PH. Lagi sila nagpupuwersa ng mga laban outside of the actual clash that's happening. So for example, nagkakaroon nga tayo dito ng split push sa bottom lane, for example, from Kiluwash. Laging naghahanap ng gulo yung mga ibang members niya doon sa ibang parts. And I think at a certain point, sinabi ng ating mga casters na parang ang daming nangyayari para sa Aura-PH. This is mainly because of their understanding of their own roles per player at syempre yung grand na idea nila na gusto nilang mangyari. Our MVP of the game, I love that in game number 3, we're seeing stellar performance mula kay KLVJ. Again, this kid wonder, the king, KLVJ, gusto mo na nagpa-pop off siya. Gusto mo na nakakakita ka ng mga plays na talagang bubuhat ng laro. And Uranus might not be that kind of hero. Siguro gusto mo siya makita sa mga malilikot na hero. But in this game, he played the Uranus as if it was a boss. Man, 90% of the time, Esmeralda versus Uranus, mag-favor ka sa side ng Esmeralda. But KLVJ showed us a little different. Anyways, mga kaibigan, I believe that was our first, just a second series, I mean, game 3 of our second series. And actually, mayroon tayong interview sa ating malupit. By the way, direct, wala akong monitor. Anyways, I guess, ayun. Kuya Greed. Hello.
Hey, hello.
Kuya Greed, kamustahin mo naman yung mga viewers